welcome to the Pet Photographers podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts, Kirstie McConnell. You will have heard me on here many times, I'm sure. But today I'm here to share something different with you. Some of you may be aware that this year I studied to become a Pilates instructor, and I now teach Pilates online for people all over the world, mostly in Australia. Anyway, I'm telling you that because today's episode is our first wellness episode. It is a members only episode, so if you are listening in iTunes, you will need to jump into the Memberzone instead because you need to watch this episode. And what I'm doing is I am sharing with you a few stretches that are perfect if you have pain after shooting or editing for too long, or during shooting, especially in your back. So I want to share some exercises with you, some Pilates exercises. Now, you do need to do these stretches regularly to see a difference, and you also need to do some strengthening too. We can't just stretch. Often things get tight because they're weak. So the first exercise I'm going to show you is actually a pec stretch. So what happens is the muscles between the shoulder blades become weak, and then these muscles here become tight, and so what happens is you curl in like this. Often it's from looking at a phone. So the first the first exercise I'm showing you is how to open these muscles back up through a stretch. But to be able to keep them there, you need to strengthen the muscles between your shoulder blades, which is something I will show you another time if you do come to class. I can't show you that today because I really need to start at the very beginning of Pilates to be able to start getting into strengthening. Because Pilates is all about aligning your breathing with strengthening from the inside out. And so, we're not necessarily about trying to get a beautiful six-pack, but we're actually about strengthening the muscles underneath the six-pack that then wrap around and protect your back. Now, I'm not going to bore you with anatomy. This is a podcast for photographers about business. But this is just a bit of a bonus episode. Just this year has been so tough on everybody, and so after a recent conversation with Caitlin and a few of the members as well about wellness and looking after ourselves, decided that it was appropriate to share some exercises with you all. And I will tell you as we move through the exercises as well about a class that I'm starting soon, but just quickly, in case you're listening on iTunes, it is a photographer's specific Pilates class. There will be different time zones, like classes at different time zones, so everybody can join at some point. There will be obviously the focus on strengthening and stretching the muscles that you need to like I was saying before, come out of a shoot without pain or with less pain. But also the part I'm really excited about is that either before or after class, depending on the time of it, you're welcome to stay on the call to have a chat about business so that your office is a bit less lonely. I think we really need to come together as a community more than ever this year, and this is the aspect that I'm really excited about, being able to offer that in collaboration with movement as well. So that's what the classes are about. I'll pop a link in the show notes so that you know how to find out more information if you are interested. But that's it. Let's get started with these exercises because I've chatted for far too long. Cheers. All right. Thanks for joining me on the website. So this is just a couple of the exercises that are available for you to watch on here if you are not a member. So I've got thread and needle first, and then we'll finish off with a glute stretch. So thanks for joining me here. This is a part of your hip socket joint. Your feet are the same. You're taking one hand out to the side. That hand is now reaching up to the ceiling, but you're trying to keep your hips as square as possible. So you're rotating to get a stretch, going up to the ceiling, looking at the thumb with the nose. Should feel the muscles around your shoulder blades start to turn on. And then you take a nice long breath in and you bring that arm down. You thread it through between the hand that's on the ground and the foot on that side. So you're threading the arm through. To be able to get down to the ground, you'll have to bend the opposite elbow. And then you're trying to take your cheek down to the floor. And you're looking at the hand that threads through. Alright, I'll do a demonstration. I might turn this way to show you, actually a bit easier. So the arm's gone up, comes down, I thread it through, I bend this elbow so I can get my cheek to the floor. Try to keep the hips as square as possible to the floor. Take a long breath in, and when you breathe out, I want you to push the hand that's on the floor, I want you to push it in, and the arm that's threaded, I want you to reach it as far as you possibly can. That will deepen the stretch. Take a nice long breath in and slowly come back up to your starting position. Now ideally you want to do 2 or 3 on the same side and then switch sides. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to demonstrate the other side. Alright, so you can rewind it if you need. Alright, so you take the other arm out to the side, then across to the ceiling, trying to keep the hips as steady as possible. Bring the arm down, thread it through, bend the other elbow, place the cheek on the floor. Thread the arm as far as you can and dig the other hand into the floor. You should feel it really opening up now around the shoulder blade, serratus anterior, down the side as well. And when you're ready, you can slow and control come back up to your neutral. Good. So if you want to press pause and then do a couple more on each side. And then when you come back, we're doing a glute stretch. Often tight glutes, or more likely weak glutes, result in lower back pain. So a lot of the stuff that we do in class is about strengthening glutes, and I'm going to show you how to stretch them because often they're super tight too. Weak and tight go hand in hand, alright? So, now don't take offense when I say weak. Most of us have this problem. The glutes, although they're one of the strongest muscles, they're often the laziest as well. And so if they, like in everybody, so if they can say, oh, the back's going to do the job for me, they'll allow the back to do the job for them, alright? So we just reintroduce turning them on and then keeping them strong in class. Alright, so you're crossing one leg so that the ankle is in front of the knee. Does that make sense? So you'll have to move your body weight forwards. So I'll show you again. So I'm in 4-point position. One ankle is coming up and crossing in front of the opposite knee. You're then taking your arms so that you're down onto your elbows. And you're taking the leg that's behind, you're lengthening it out behind you. So it's as long as can be. And then relaxing the foot down. Make sure, see my toes are tucked like that. You want to relax them now. From here, to get a super deep stretch in that glute, you're walking your elbows around so they're in front of the bent knee. By doing this, your opposite hip will have just rolled up. I want you to push it back down into the ground. You'll feel as you do that, the stretch deepen. Now you can relax your neck. Just let your head hang down. The neck doesn't need to be on. Sometimes we have to remind the neck not to do all the work. You can hang in this spot for about 40 seconds and then you will switch legs. Alright, so you sort of have to untangle yourself. I find it easiest to come up onto my hands, tuck my toe at the back, walk that knee in, and then untangle the leg and switch sides.
Thanks for listening to the Pet Photographers Club. To subscribe to the podcast, check out other episodes, and keep up to date, head to thepetphotographersclub.com.